Alright, it's probably incredibly brief. Um, I saw a movie on Amazon Prime called Dave Makes a Maze for a Labyrinth. And I could see where they went wrong. It Everyone has a good premise, they have a good idea, but then they try to execute said ideas, but make it. They said, what is the logistics of this? Because. And that's a lot of shorthand for you're not as imaginative or creative or problem solving capability as you would like other people to believe. This is you just bullshitting through the movie. Where Dave makes a labyrinth. Okay. How does he make it? Well, we'll open up with, him. It just like a cold opening where it's like they're in an apartment, the girl kisses him on the cheek and then leaves. It's all animated with the texts and the music and everything. And so I'm guessing these two are together and he has some time to himself. Remember, I'm guessing at this. I don't know anything. It's shown to us, but we don't. There has to be some measure of tell. You have to establish who are these characters, you know, and you have to actually show up. Having them in their intro scene leave each other doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like saying opening up with the phrase "bye." It's like, why are you saying "bye" for? We don't even know who you are, so it's like, what is? So there's no context there. So the girlfriend leaves. The boyfriend has all this time. He starts doing little side projects, which apparently he sucks at. And he gets it in his head, why don't I make a maze out of cardboard? So he does that for the last part of his time off. The girlfriend comes back, sees this giant, not really giant, but this rather big cardboard fort complex in her living room, and he says he's in there, says he can't come out, and she's like around this thing for an hour before finally getting to the point that she bothers to ask, why don't you just come out? Because now they got to establish the exposition, which is like, really, now you couldn't do that at any other point before. So whatever. He says just him, and then they bring like 15 people, and they all go inside the maze, and even a film crew. And once they get inside, much like the TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside, and everything's made of cardboard, and they meet little brought to life little cranes, paper cranes, and little puppets and stuff like that. And they don't really question the logistics of this, like the how and why. They just accept it as such, eventually, at some point. But that's the thing, is when you have a premise, you gotta give it a legitimacy in that universe as to how and why. Even if it's bullshit, you can't just say, just because. You can't, that's stupid. It's lazy writing. So, the premise behind this whole thing that the labyrinth is this big thing that has a life of its own, has monsters in it. The question is, how did it happen? Does he have superpowers? No. Was there some sort of magical object? Nope. Was there a spell? Is there magic at all in this world? No. It just happened. As if this one particular guy building a fort one day, it just magically came to life. That's it. It just magically came to life because, in the movie, was it Amazing Adventures? I think it's the one where it's in like the World War II bomber, and the U.S. people are trying to come back, but then a piece of the German plane crashes into their plane, and the guy in the gunner seat on the bottom is stuck in there, and they can't get him out. And so the plane can't lower its wheels, so that it's going to belly flop land, and thus crush the guy. And the guy, throughout this whole thing, doesn't want to die. So when he sees his picture he drew, because he's a really good artist, he draws him so lifelike, so that when he's there and he's staring at it, he says, Benenet, Benenet, Benenet. That's what I heard him saying. That he says, and please, he calls off to the guy through the speaker and he says, please, just try it one more time for me. Even though they established the wheels have been blown off, there's nothing there. So the guy says, please with him, just please, just one more time for me, as he's staring at his picture with the plane with these cartoon wheels. So the guy clicks it, the light turns on, and all of a sudden these cartoon wheels extend and lower out, and then the plane lands. And the guy's kind of like in this kind of comatose state, like just staring out at nothing, but he's just staring out. He's like going to knock. The guy gets out and looks at the wheels, goes to knock on the glass to it's like, hey, can you see anything? He goes, no, don't bother him. They naturally assume that it became real because of him, because of the cartoonist. These are his wheels. These are the heat wheels he drew. So they know what it is. They know it came from him. So if he's in some sort of trance, it's like, don't bother him until later on they get him away, get out everybody from underneath it, slap him, and then the wheels disappear. So it makes logistical sense, even though it's improbable and absurd. It makes sense in their universe because it is explained well throughout this whole thing. So it's believable enough of the process, how it happened. This, it just happens. He built the maze and then it's alive. Because they defeat the monster, then it implodes. Because, and the monster lives on. So it's very anticlimactic, even though it does have a decent adventure to it, with half-decent characters and character arcs. The premise doesn't hold up because the start is weak. It starts off with an animation with no real context. It doesn't explain itself really at all. You have to do like 50% guesswork of what they give you in that intro animation. And then you have to sit through 5 minutes of her kind of placating this guy or humoring him before she finally fucking gets to the cut, giving exposition before she finally asks him, why don't you just come out already? So yeah, the difference is one explained well, even as improbable as it is. The other is just bullshit, where it's just like, because we don't have to explain it, it's just because. Again, classic bullshit. See, that's the difference. Oh, and I saw the last two Askewniverses, Jay and Silent Bob reboot and the Method in the Madness thing, also for free on Amazon, on Prime Video. The reason why something is free on a streaming service is basically because it tanked at the box office and no one is paying, well, jack for it. So give it away for free because it's on your platform. We're not making jack money, so just give it away for free. They are not that good. Again, it's the old bait and switch with the trailers, where they, like in Birth of the Dragon, the trailer says the A plot is Bruce Lee, and the B plot is, well, there is no B plot. Oh wait, there is a B plot. The B plot being the romance. So the romance is really the driving force, and the Bruce Lee element is the subplot, pretty much. Yeah, if you saw it, you would understand. So yes, with the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, suddenly the trailer presents itself as a Jay and Silent Bob try to go and stop this reboot from being made because they still want to be named as Jay and Silent Bob for the inspiration for Bluntman and Chronic. So they got to go stop this Bluntman and Chronic reboot movie, which is a lot of callbacks. It's supposed to be a parody slash satire on superhero films and reboots, but honestly, again, it's a bait and switch where you think what the trailer tells you is the A plot, and pretty much only the plot in the film turns out it's about Jason Mewes that actually is the father of a child and he needs to step up and be a parent. That is more of the actual A plot because it evolves out of the tanking the movie plot, which only has a passing line in the trailer, is actually the rest or the majority of the film. So like 40% of the film is them getting into the pickle, understanding what to do, traveling a bit, getting there to Comic-Con, doing some shenanigans, and then that's it. Because the problem they thought they needed to get their titles back is really not what they wanted. They needed to move on past them. To Jason Mewes' you know, Jay to become a father, to move on. And that's basically it. So it's, again, it's a lot of lazy writing. It's more of, like I said, it's more of making of. It's more satire than anything else. It's more making fun of or a parody of than anything else. But then it tries to bait and switch you, try to go for the feels, rather than just stick it to the story that's given to you in the trailer. So you go in thinking it's one thing, it turns out it's more of another. And then with Method to the Madness, again, more of the same. Jason Mewes wants to be taken more seriously as a serious actor. The opening scene tanks the whole premise because Jason Mewes, the actor, totally killed it as, reading for this character. We said, we thought we'd need you as the stoner friend, but you said you were awesome. Then hire him! If he blew you away, then hire him. And thus, this illogicalness of, well, we don't want to cast you as that, even though you're probably awesome at it, defeats the whole premise and thus starts off this whole stupid thing, which doesn't make any real sense at all. It just shows a very angry Jason Mewes going on a killing spree needlessly because the Hollywood producer, director person, or scout, or whatever recruiter didn't take the guy who was actually good at the job. And that's why your film fails. It's not following logic. It has to force in this stupid logic to have your premise, to have your story, for Jason Mewes to go on his murder rampage and have all these cameo appearances and everything else, which is probably the last Stan Lee cameo there is. Unless Marvel was secretly, stockpiling a bunch of Stan Lee cameos for future films. I'm hoping. But yeah, it becomes this nonsensical blah blah blah. And it's like, it just kind of comes off as, really? So why would I root for him if it's like Falling Down. If the guy at the end, Michael Douglas, doesn't die and become successful Hollywood career person like the guy who was pretending to be the Mandarin. It's like that. It doesn't make any sense because he's not as likable. It just falls apart. Just completely falls apart. Is it well acted? Yes. Would you like it? No. Again, trailers they gotta take this mediocre story and try to make you sit in their seats and pay money for it. Remember? Doesn't matter if the film's good, as long as they get you your butt in the seat to begin with. They did their job. So beware trailers. Remember, trailers lie. It's the power of editing. Anyway, so that's about it. And currently, the coronavirus is still plaguing us for week 2 of this bullshit. They're saying that they'll deploy the National Guard for the storm hit regions back east. So, yeah. Alright, see you another week. Let's hope that stimulus package comes in by the 1st. Take care, and as always, hopefully in a few months I'll see you in the movies. And in July I'll see you at the con.